Hey traders, this is Joe Wright here from MaximumLots.com, and this video is all about how to trade short using supply and demand. So for those of you who saw the video last week, I mentioned a potential setup on dollar CAD, looking at the daily chart. So I'm just going to run through the analysis I mentioned and then how I took the trade. So we've got demand here on this daily chart, and we can see that it's been engulfed. So price dropped straight through it. You've got this big Momo candle that closed below, and then price retraced up, and we had this Momo or momentum candle here. So this is the candle that closed at the end of last week, or 2 weeks ago, shall I say? This one here. So what I said is, okay, if we see it retrace, then I'll be looking to trade short down here potentially. So if we zoom into this particular candle, let's get this cursor. Okay, so I'm going to drop down to H1, see what we're looking at. Okay, I'm going to put the days on using Control Y. So this here represents that Momo candle's price action right here. So from this blue line forward, this area is that Momo candle. Okay, so as we can see, price came down, then rallied back up. Now, I mainly trade supply and demand, but I'm also aware of support and resistance. And we've got a bit of a resistance area around here, or even supply. So we've got a bit of supply there, and we know that supply can turn into demand and vice versa. So when price rallied up within this Momo candle, I said I want to see this area tested first. So price rallied up, came back down, tested this area here. Well, you can put this anywhere, like really, even around these wicks previous. So this is supply. This is a bit of resistance here because price was rejected from around that area. So price rallied up, tested this area. So once that was tested, I was okay to start looking for shorts. So the next thing I did, let me get these off the charts. So that's, in fact, let me leave this one on. So once that was tested, I started to look for shorts. So if I drop down to the 15-minute, I'll show you what I saw. So we've got this demand level here on the 15-minute. That was the closest demand level to price at the time. So I marked that on. And so I wanted to see this engulfed before looking for shorts. And soon after, we saw price engulf that demand level. So price broke it. So to me, that demand level was no longer valid. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see a better picture. And then I looked up and saw this area here, which looked very much like supply as far as I was concerned. So I marked this one in red. So we've got that rally, bit of a base there, drop, and that seemed to me like the source of the engulf of this level here. So after price tested that and closed below, it was around that time that I was at the screen, I then entered and I took that trade down there. Now if you missed that one, you do have a bit of supply around here as well that formed afterwards. So you've got a bit of a base. Yes, you do have some weights to the upside, but you know, if you missed it from up here, then you could have entered again, or you could have entered on that other opportunity. So that was the trade that I took. I traded that down, and then let's have a look. Yeah, then I saw this bit of price action here. We saw that pause before a smaller move down. So it looked like price was stopping there. So what I did then is I moved my stop up, or I moved my stop down rather, to above this area here. So then when price came above, it kicked me out for around 100 pips or so. So that was the short-term trade, one of the short-term trades that I took last week on dollar CAD. So that was because this demand level was engulfed. The path below was pretty clear. Price rallied up. We had a candle in the downward direction as well. And once price came up, tested that resistance, proved that price wasn't going higher, we then saw an engulf lower on a lower time frame. I then took that trade short and exited after that. Okay, so that was the setup there I took on a dollar CAD. I'm just going to run through another one that I took last week. Let's have another short, and this was on dollar yen. So the situation here was this blue area here, this demand level was engulfed, and I'll scroll over and show you where that was. That's this area here, this demand level. Below that, we've got nothing but green candles. So to me, that indicates profit potential. Clear path there, not much to stop price from moving down until we get to around here, where you might have supply turning into demand. So yeah, after that, I thought, okay, I'm interested, and then we saw the area engulfed, price rallied up, and then we had this momentum candle, this red momentum candle heading downwards, and so that got me interested. And then on the next day, this is Friday's candle, price rallied up a bit, just touched the previous support there, and that became resistance. And I'm going to mark up that Momo, scroll along, show you what we're looking at. Put the days on as well so you can see. So this is that Momo candle there. Then you can see that after that, price rallied up, tested this previous support there, rallied up, tested that support, and then dropped away in a very strong fashion. And what I saw was supply just there. So that's what got me interested in that trade. Now I don't normally trade from the H1. I like a lower time frame, but it looked pretty clear for me on this time frame that was a bit of supply. And when I dropped down to one of the ones I normally use at the moment for this 15-minute, you have support there, trending resistance if that's what you want to trade, which is not what I normally do. But if I drop down further, you can see we've got a 5-minute supply in there. Let me zoom out a bit. So we've got a 5-minute supply. If I can put that on, and that's what I saw there. So not only have you got H1 supply, you've got 5-minute supply sat inside it, and we call that supply and demand fractal. It's basically a level within a level. So that's what got me interested in the trade, and that is why I went short. And you can see what happened after that. So that was another trade. Now with trades like this, because of the potential that you have, because of this large profit potential here, you can take these as long-term or short-term trades. So I actually entered this on both my long-term and my short-term account. So we shall see what happens with that. But these are just some of the trades I took last week. This is one way to trade the forex market for short-term profits. I hope you found that useful. If you haven't already, please subscribe and you'll get more videos like this, and you'll get the weekly updates which I send out every Sunday. Happy trading, guys.